Are you ready for some old-time comedy from a man that is old enough to be his own grandfather? Ladies and gentlemen, Old Man Willie.
Like to start off, ladies and gentlemen, by personally thanking Shennis Productions for cordially inviting me over this evening to perform some of the highlights of my nationally famous award-losing act. You know, I don't have to stand here and tell you the type of pressure I'm under lately. Last week, my doctor took me aside, and he says, Bill, you're liable to roll any minute on us. I says, good, I haven't went in the last 4 days. And he said another thing, Bill, your wife is suffering from a severe case of hypertension, and I strongly recommend she have sex 5 times a month. I said, that sounds terrific, Doc, put me down for 2. You know what my idea of a safe sex is? When a guy is invited to a young lady's apartment at least 5 minutes before her husband gets home. Reading not too long ago where it takes a woman 30 minutes to get dressed. Hell, I know a guy got dressed in 30 seconds and he was hiding under a bed at the time. You'll have to excuse me if I look a little bit tired this evening, as I spent my whole afternoon down at my local tavern trying to convince this old-time barmaid that my varicose veins were all tattoo marks. I'll tell you, I really feel old age creeping up on me. Last night I passed a cemetery and 2 guys started to chase me with a shovel. Tell you nowadays, every time I read, hear, or think of the Rolling Stones, the first thing that comes to my mind are my kidneys. Bought a parrot last week. Now every time I go to the bathroom, he says, good boy, good boy. Tell you, I really feel terrific today. I was up at the crack of 6 this morning, took a brisk walk to the bathroom, was back in bed by 6:05. I don't care what anybody says. If God wanted us to appreciate sunrises, he would have had them at 12 noon. I love it when I sit down to breakfast in the morning. I love to hear him snap, crackle, and pop. That's not the cereal left my knees. I hope you don't think I'm bragging, but last week I set the state record for the standing broad jump. 18 feet 8.5 inches. I never did see that Paul Bolton coming up from behind. And speaking of world's records, I know this old farmer who recently set a world's record by growing a 6-pound prune. The guy who ate it also set a world's record. I don't know what his name is, but I know where we can find him. Did I tell you when my cousin Charlie was born, they issued him a death certificate instead of a birth certificate? So last week he went down to the Hall of Records and he says, I want this mistake corrected immediately. So they shot him. Did I tell you I met my wife at a swinging singles bar? And all the while I thought she was home watching the kids. I proposed to her on my hands and knees. She was under the table at the time. I gave her a ring and she gave me the finger. She said she wanted to have a white wedding. I said, you better pray for snow. Went to my doctor last week and he said, Bill, I do not like the looks of your wife. I said, that makes 2 of us. They say that marriage isn't made in heaven, but so is thunder and lightning. People often ask me, Bill, why do you wear the wedding ring on the wrong finger? I said, because I married the wrong woman. She divorced me last October, couldn't keep up the alimony repayment, so she repossessed me in May. The other day, she met me at the door with no clothes on. She says, what do you think of my birthday suit? I said, it needs ironing. Went to a tattoo parlor the other day, and I said, I want the picture of a beautiful woman. He says, where do you want it? I said, on my wife's face. I was thinking of taking her out last Saturday night, but I just didn't have courage to pull the trigger. The other day I said, what would you like for an anniversary present? She says, a divorce. I said, I hadn't planned on spending that much. The other day she called me up and she says, Bill, how do you change a light bulb in the bathroom? I said, you start out by filling the tub with water. She's getting very picky lately. She doesn't like me going in the shower, especially when she's in it. The other day she was thinking of having some breast surgery. After she found out what it caused, she let the whole thing drop. She says, Bill, I want you to leave me the way you found me. I said, how's that? She says, a widow. Went out and bought some insurance, some fire insurance the other day. I know where she's going. The other day she comes home and she says to me, she says, Bill, what would you do if you came home some night and caught me in bed with another man? I said, I'd kick his seeing eye dog. The other day, we're having breakfast, and she hit me in the head with a roll. I says, what's that for? She says, that's for being a lousy lover. So I whacked her across the side of the head. She said, what's that for? I said, that's for knowing the difference. Now you can tell your wife died, sex is the same, but the dishes start to pile up and sink. This old couple is driving cross country, the state trooper pulls him over. And his wife is hard of hearing. The state trooper says, let's see your license. His wife says, what do you say? He wants to see my license. He looks at the license. He says, I see you from Nashville, Tennessee. He says, the worst piece of ass I ever had in my life was in Nashville. His wife says, what did he say? He said he thinks he knows you. Oh, she's really built. Now, excuse me, I had a, I took a laxative, in case you're wondering why I'm getting a little nervous up here, because I took a laxative early today and it's beginning to kick in on my now, so I'm holding back on it there. Oh, she's really built 38, 28, 38, that's a left leg. Fascinating eyes, one keeps looking at the other. Cutest little chin, she liked it so much she grew two more. Now it looks like she's taking over a stack of wheat cakes. And the rear end, she has a rear end on the size of Chicago. I won't say it's big, but we had to put shock absorbers on the toilet seat. I would have brought her with me this evening, but I lost the key to the shed. Did I tell you? My cousin Louie, he's a real loony kazoonie. He thinks he's a rooster. Never forget the day he died. The whole family overslept. Tell you, I'm going out with this lovely Chinese girl. She has no arms. Her name is No Tie Shoe. No relation to a wingtip shoe. Had dinner with the other night, and I broke open the fortune cookie. And I said, don't eat the egg roll. Going out with this lovely American Indian girl, we went dancing the other night, but the only problem was it started to rain and the creek started to overflow. Went to my doctor last week, and I said, Doc, I can't pee. He says, how old are you? I said, I'm 80. He says, you peed enough. He said,
Ladies and gentlemen, old man Willie, good job.
Oh, I thought it was
Good job.
Yeah.
Come on down, have a seat, and we'll get you set up, and we'll talk about a few things.
Now, how long was I on then?
Oh, I know. We're just gonna sit down and talk about a few things. You been in the comedy business how long?
I started in I'm not good at numbers there at my age. I'm lucky I'm sitting here without drooling at the mouth there.
Right.
I started when I was 67 years old in Springfield, Missouri.
Awesome.
They had a comedy club downtown called Sir Gregory's.
Yes,
I went in
I
one night.
remember that.
I went in one night to do as open mic,
Right.
and he liked me. They told me to come back, and then it followed up. The regular MC left for greener pastures, and he asked me if I wanted to be the MC. So I emceed Sir Gregory's for off and on for 6 years.
Awesome. Awesome. I remember that place. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Shennis.
Hey.
Episode 36.
36.
The last one
will be
of
our
the
last
season.
episode of the season. We'll be following up next Sunday with the award show. With
Absolutely.
These beautiful Shennis trophies that
Shennis-
we're going to be
the
awarding
Shennis
for
trophy.
3 categories: best singer, best performance, and best character actor.
And we're looking forward to that show. Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, our second season starts November 22nd.
It will be a Friday. We're changing from Sunday to Friday because I think it's
Right.
time we hit the
Prime time a little
prime
bit
time
more.
of sort.
And also on that same note, we will be looking for a cameraman for next season.
Yes,
So
we're gonna need a cameraman.
anybody
for next
interested,
season.
please give us a
Give us a
call.
call. 417-234-0355.
And there it is.
Willie.
But back to Willie here.
Yeah.
what do you got for him? That was
You
a
know,
stellar
I
performance.
mean, well, that was great. I was kind of like holding in the laughter, folks, but
Yeah.
you know, I wish we had an audience for the man. He's a good man. Old man Willie, he's something like 29 or something like that at this point.
My
So-
underwear was 29 years old.
Guy with all the jokes.
He's pretty quick on the trigger. 92 years old. This man is.
92. Imagine
And
that.
imagine that. I hope I'm as well preserved at 92 as this guy is.
So
And,
you started out in New York City, as I understand. Did you? I don't know. What's the history
Well, the only entertainment I did in New York City, I had a quasi magic act there. Magic, like more or less comedy magic. It was mostly patterns so on that line.
there? Okay.
And so I had a little background of standing before an audience before I came to Springfield.
Right. So you've been on the road here and there doing comedy for all these years since 19.
But I had a layoff because I had to eat.
Oh.
Oh.
So like I do this on Saturday night, do a show in one of the local bars in
Sure.
the name was Mostly Magic there. But,
Mostly Magic.
It was comedy magic and comedy, magic and comedy.
Huh.
That sounds very fun.
Just because we went to a show and you were there, and I met you down at the Big Mama's down in Commercial Street here in Springfield, Missouri. That was the first time. And then you were at this big show for New Year's Eve, and he put up a good show
Yeah,
that
you did.
night.
You did. I remember that. Now
There was
I
a
do
lot of
remember
laughter.
that. We went to see Norman Jackson, and he was the comedian in between times, so that was awesome. You seem to get around Springfield quite well, then.
There's a mic, I'll be there.
If there's a mic, he'll be there.
That's
So you like the mics.
Yes.
I like the Marias.
It's a very dangerous place between me and the microphone. You and the microphone.
You're going for that thing, huh?
The
So-
greatest fear I had was the first time I got up to do comedy. Now the second greatest fear is after I did it that they wouldn't ask me to get up the second time.
As I understand it, you have a niece out there in California.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's her name?
I have so many nieces. Elizabeth.
Oh,
Yes.
Elizabeth.
Yes.
Well, hopefully you'll be tuning into this, Elizabeth.
Yes.
And I don't know.
Looking for a weather girl for next year?
Weather girl, weather
Next
woman,
Weather woman.
Weather woman.
For the 50 pluses next year.
Yeah, next year.
And also any interviewees
Yes,
that would like to
people of notice and notoriety.
come around and
I
give us a
don't
call. We're going to start scheduling stuff probably about a month. We're
Yeah.
going to put together
We
a.
gotta take a little time off. We need a hiatus.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
But
anyways, for our last 36th episode with
Mr.
Old Man Willie, I'm Dennis.
I'm Sean.
50 plus.
50 plus.
50 plus.
Thank you.